And it says that we are live. How are you doing, Chastity Snowden and Zuz? Did I get it right?
That's perfect. Well
How
done.
do, how do you pronounce your last name?
Oh my God. Foldiova.
Yeah. Zuz.
Yes.
There we go. Chastity, how are you?
I'm doing great.
So this is going to be unique. So I am in Chattanooga, Tennessee, United States of America, which is relevant. Chastity, where are you?
I'm in South Florida, Boca Raton, United States of America.
Zuz, where are you?
I'm in Slovakia, in the middle of Europe.
Well, I read I was trying to do a little, without being creepy, do some research on your profile, and it said you lived in Australia.
I did.
And I thought, well, she's probably from Australia. So I'm getting excited for this accent, and I say, hey, and I go, she sounds like she's from Canada.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Disappointment right there.
Canadians rock. I love that accent.
I heard that. I've never been. I would love to go.
Well, if you've tuned into my Facebook page before or you've listened to my podcast during the break podcast, then you know I've had several conversations with Chastity Snowden. And I wanted to bring her on again today because we're going to talk a little bit about coaching. But tell everybody why in the world, Chastity, we have Zuz on. How do you know her?
Oh my goodness. I met this beautiful lady about 2 years ago. She was actually a client of mine, and I've coached her for a couple years. And then she was so awesome and just dove into nutrition. She was already a CrossFit coach at the time and just started diving into nutrition and then decided to become a nutrition coach herself. And then when I separated from the other company that I was with before I developed my own company, once I separated from them, I realized I'd probably need some help in my company, and she was one of the first people I thought of.
So, Zuz, what brought you into CrossFit? So tell me, what attracted you to CrossFit?
Well, I should go a little bit further back. So I used to play tennis ever since I was like 7. And well, one of my friends over here in Slovakia, while I still lived here, he started a CrossFit gym way back when it was like super, super new. Like you guys already knew what CrossFit was. Here, we just like started hearing about it. And I got injured playing tennis, so I couldn't play. I hurt my shoulder. But I couldn't just like do nothing. So he invited me over to just like try this new thing. And funnily enough, it kind of stuck. Rehab my shoulder. Like it doesn't really happen that often, but you say CrossFit's dangerous, but it actually really helped. Mm-hmm. And I just stuck with it. Then I moved to Sydney, to Australia, and got a little bit more serious about CrossFit there. It became my sport. I just left tennis and started focusing on CrossFit.
When I asked Chas that question, and I know some people that are in CrossFit, one of the words that always comes up is community. In other words, it doesn't matter really where you're from or what your history is. Once you're there, or what level you're at, once you're there, you're kind of part of the family.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
100%. Like I can say straight away, I met my best friends at CrossFit. Like the first gym, literally, and you will speak to Renee. The first gym I signed up to in Sydney, that's where I met Renee. And we became best friends, really. Maybe not back at that time, but over time, like we developed relationship and we literally became best friends. We went through multiple CrossFit gyms together. And this is really what happened. I met so many amazing people. Like CrossFit even brought me to Chasity. This is why we're sitting here, honestly. So definitely.
I asked Chas this question, and I'll ask it again. Chastity, what is your favorite exercise in CrossFit? What's your favorite thing to do?
Handstand push-ups.
Why wouldn't it be? Of course. Zeus, what is your favorite exercise?
Well, not handstand push-ups. My arms are too long. I love lifting, honestly, anything with a barbell. And this is what I do at the moment. So I stopped doing CrossFit about, I don't know, 2 years ago, Chas. I don't really remember. Yeah. So I stopped being super serious about it. And just focus on lifting at the moment, just doing CrossFit a couple times a week, maybe, just to keep my fitness really. So lifting, power cleans, maybe snatches now that I'm a little bit better at them.
Now you're a lot stronger.
Yeah, I'm a lot stronger. So yeah, lifting. It's always been my favorite.
I love power cleans, and it kind of gets lost, I think, in some of the move because my shoulders are just not good for anything like the snatches anymore or the presses. But a good old fashioned power clean, to me, that is the best overall body exercise.
Yeah. And they're beautiful. Like if you look at the whole movement, it's just beautiful when it flows. It's awesome.
Yeah. Everybody's smiling.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So do you go for, are you actually doing power lifting? Like you're going for maxes? Are you just becoming good at the form? I know it's kind of all in one, but what's the goal of it?
All the lifting. So clean and jerks and snatches, basically. Just a lot of technique work. Like going for 1 rep maxes is not that. We don't do that too often. There is a place for it, but generally it's just like drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling the movement until you're over it, really.
Well, every now and then I'll see a video of Chas handstand walking across the gym floor, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see if I hadn't done one in 25 or 30 years. And I get to the point where my hands are on the ground and my feet, and I'm like, that's good enough. That's good. Pretty flexible.
I mean, it's fun. I understand why she loves doing it, because sometimes I do it for warm-ups and it's just like, oh my God, I walked the whole length of the gym and I'm super excited about it. But then it's like, I don't want to do it. It don't work out.
You don't have to make her feel good about that. It's okay. That's a horrible thing to love. That's a horrible thing to love. All right, so do me a quick favor before we get too far, and I'm glad you brought it. You took us back further. When you met Chasity, how did that? I mean, you said CrossFit, but how did that happen, and why did you pick Chasity for your coach?
I don't think I picked her. I think she was assigned to me. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, that's where the fate played the part.
Fate.
It was a destiny.
Yes.
No, I mean, I signed up with IN3, and I think like she was assigned to me. I'm pretty sure.
Did y'all hit it off immediately, or did it take some time to grow on each other?
No, I mean, because I had a nutrition coach before. I worked with a different company. Then I stopped, and with them, it was literally just exchanging emails, weekly check-ins, which at the time worked for me. But with Chasity, like it was way more personal straight away. So yes, we started with email check-ins, but then it like turned into more of like we had video, like we had calls, and then we had Marco Polos, and it's just like it just grew. It became way, way more personal than just exchanging an email every week or so. I guess.
Well, and I'll say this from personal experience of talking with Chasity. You say something all the time, showing up for yourself, Chasity. You always say that about people. Was that a good fit? Did she show up for herself?
Oh, yeah. She's been on the journey from the beginning with me. So she's seen the morph of like, we would just exchange emails. And then I realized I didn't know anything about her. How am I supposed to coach her if I don't really know her? And then I'm like, well, let's just move to phone calls. And then I'd be like, well, let's do phone calls more often. Well, eventually it was like, I want to see your face. Like, this just isn't working. You're at a different time zone. Like, she was in Australia at the time. Like, so it just kept morphing. And so she's kind of seen the morph of like how I developed the company the way that I developed it is really because of her and Renee and Jen.
Let's do me a favor. I want to ask you, because I went to Zeus's Facebook page, and I'll bring up a topic that's, where it's not about nutritional coaching. We're going to get to that. But Chas, there is a delay on your connection.
Okay.
And so which is fine with me because we're hearing you in real time, but the visual is really slow. If you want to check out and check back in.
Absolutely.
See if that works. Meanwhile, Zuz, I noticed on your Facebook page, you like dogs.
I love dogs.
I was going to tell everybody right now, if you go visit her Facebook page, it's CrossFit powerlifting dog.
Yeah, I tried to keep my Instagram more professional, but my Facebook is basically just sharing all the posts about poor little dogs that need homes.
Other than sharing, the dogs you have, are they rescue dogs? Are they?
One of them. So I have two dogs. One's Zuz, which is a purebred beagle. I've had a beagle before, so like this literally had to happen. I need to have a beagle. But then he needed a friend, so we went to a shelter and we rescued little Elsa.
What kind of dog is Elsa?
Oh my God, I don't even know what it is. Honestly, she looks a little bit like a Jack Russell, you would say, probably.
Oh, okay.
But then she has longer legs, so I don't know. She has a special talent. She's the fastest dog I've ever seen, and a lot of people have seen. So, yeah, we got something special. Like we have friends that have like these racing greyhounds, and they have a lot of work to do with her. Like she gives them a good run.
Really?
So she might be part of something like that. Bit of a greyhound there.
If you don't mind me asking, what took you to Australia?
I just needed a change. So I studied law for 3 years. Another fun fact. So after high school, I went to a law school, did 3 years, got my bachelor's, but I didn't want to do it. I realized I didn't want to do it. And I've always done sports. As I said, I played tennis. So I wanted to go and do like coaching and like study sports in sports schools. So what's the farthest place that you can go from Slovakia? It's Australia. So that's how it happened.
Boca Raton, Florida is pretty far away too.
But Sydney's still further.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's now take you to the point where you want to be a coach. When did you know that you wanted to go from having a coach? Because I think you still, Chasity, you still have a coach, don't you?
I have a CrossFit coach, yes. And actually, the girls coach me in nutrition.
Kinda.
Collectively. They collectively kick my butt and tell me what to do.
Really?
We're more there for accountability. That's what we're there for.
It isn't accountability. We throw that word around a lot, but it's such a good word when I'm encouraging you to be accountable. And it sucks so much when somebody's holding you accountable.
Yes, it does.
For
Continue
sure.
on. Somebody pick that up and run with it, because that's how y'all make a living, is holding people accountable.
I mean, that's honestly what our job is. Like, you hire a nutrition coach to change like your way of eating to lose weight. But at the end of the day, people get stuck with nutrition coaches for the feeling of accountability. So once you hit your goal, you've finished whatever you started, people still stay with you just because you're just keeping them accountable. And that's why I stayed with Chas as well. Like, I know what I have to do. Chas knows what she has to do with herself as well. Like, I mean, we're nutrition coaches. We can coach ourselves. It's just like, you're never going to be so honest with yourself or so tough with yourself that you can really rely on yourself.
But, I talk to businesses because I do some business consulting, and I tell them this all the time. I think people do this with themselves personally a lot more than even with their business. But if I own a business and I look at my week, I look at my calendar, and I see that I have 7 appointments, and one of those appointments I've scheduled to spend time on my business, right? Well, when things get tight, the first person I'm going to cancel and let down is myself. Mm-hmm. I'll postpone time spent on Clint's business because I don't want to let Chasity down.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think, Chasity, when people come to you, how much of what they need to go through is, of course, the food's important. They don't know. A lot of people don't know the details of it, but it's also, you got to stop letting yourself down.
Absolutely. That's the main conversation, is just show up. Until it becomes a habit, you just have to keep showing up. Eventually, it'll become a habit.
Eventually.
Eventually.
If you work hard.
Yes.
If you put in work.
So when you started getting into coaching, Zuz, what did that look like? Why, like I said, when did you know you wanted to do it? But how did you know you wanted to do the nutritional side of it? Or do you do CrossFit as well?
Yeah, I'm a PT. So that's the first thing that started it. So that's the reason I moved to Australia, because I wanted to study like sports fitness and be a PT. But then along the way, fast forward me working with Chas, like she was so good, and she was like so good with us and with people in general, that I was just like, I want to do this, because it was a bit more, it definitely is more rewarding. Like coaching CrossFit classes and coaching people is still fun, and I still do it. But at the end of the day, nutrition coaching and what we do now, these habits, that's what changes people's lives, not that hour that you spend with them and teach them power cleaning, if we go back to that. So I was like, yeah, I want to do this. And yeah, that's where we went.
Do each of you have a macro? See, Chastity, I remember macros. Thank you very much. Because here's why. Because Chastity goes macros. Track your food. Track your food. But do each of you have one that's more difficult to manage than the other? Because what I have found that I'll be on these Zoom meetings, and some people get protein in like super easy. And I'm a dude, and I'm supposed to get my protein in. Even Chastity said, I've never had a guy that's had trouble getting protein in. I had trouble getting protein in. Which one do you struggle with?
Me personally, it's a tough one, because they keep changing. Like I went from like really high carbs and lower fats into like higher protein and higher fats and lower carbs. So, but I think at the moment for me, it's probably protein. Like I'm quite high in protein as well.
I feel you.
I have about 180 grams of protein a day, which
Let's say hers is higher than yours.
Yeah, and I can't get it in.
I have to eat a lot. So it gets tough. But for me at the moment, it's probably just getting the food in that I have to on some days. Some days I'm hungry. Some days I'm just like, oh my God, I still have another meal to go and I don't want to.
Do you use drinks and protein shakes and stuff to help?
Yeah, I do. I have to. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't. Sometimes I have 2 a day just to hit it.
Well,
which is fine.
She eats about 3,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
So what's your macro that you struggle with, or do you struggle with anything, Chastity?
Mine's definitely protein, and the coaches know that. I'm the worst.
She's horrible with protein.
Horrible. I would rather never eat protein ever and eat carbs all day long.
What? Well, see, that's really weird, because I like hamburger patties. I love steaks, but it doesn't matter when you're trying to get in that much protein. If I have 1 steak a day or 2, or a hamburger patty or 2, I'm good, but that's not near enough.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So how many stupid boiled eggs do I have to eat? And so this is a true story. And as a matter of fact, are you on your phone, Chastity? Or are you on your computer?
Well, I'm on my computer, but my phone is nearby.
So I about sent you a picture the other night, and I may have gotten rid of it. I about posted this on one of your pages the other night. If I can do it real quick. Yeah. And it was of a meal that I made. And I was trying to get my protein in.
Mm-hmm.
And it still didn't work. And if I was just screw it, and I ate a cookie and went to bed. What do you think of that?
There's a little bit of protein in cookies. It's okay.
Not the kind I eat.
2 grams.
I mean,
no,
I said a little.
I eat Oreo vanilla wafers, the thin ones.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Have you ever had those?
No.
You had me at Oreos. I don't care what it is. You had me at Oreos.
I just like the face that Chastity made. I'll send you the picture in a minute. But Chastity made the face. I've never seen the Housewives of Atlanta face you made. Interesting. Interesting.
I
That's
can't
funny.
say anything. I'll be like, I need to get my protein in. I need to get my protein in. I think I'll eat an entire bowl of fruit. And that's my problem. I know I'm a pain, but like literally I can eat 300 grams of carbs with fruit every day and be happy.
So this morning I have my green drink that I have every morning, and then I ate a banana, an apple, and an orange every day before noon because that's what I like to eat. And then I have a big protein. And nobody cares about that. I'm just saying I struggle with the macros, and I'm glad that you do too. That's all I'm saying.
We all do.
We
Trust
all
me.
I'm
do.
glad. Okay, so what do you get out of coaching? And I want that to go to both of you because we always have new people that may see this video, Chasity, and they may not know it. But I have found that most of the time, whether it's being a nurse or a teacher, when anybody chooses to do something in life where they're helping others, and I don't mean this in a bad way, and it's okay, but there's usually something they get from it too.
Oh yeah.
So what do each of you get from it that really keeps you connected to it?
Go ahead, Zuz.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's really just being around people and seeing how, because like when someone comes over and asks for help, you get one type of a person, right? Like this one personality comes to you. Then as their journey goes on, and same thing happened to me with Chas. I believe I'm a completely different person now than I was 2 years ago when we started. So you see this person kind of morphing into something that they can be, they have potential to be. So I think it's the satisfaction of me being like, okay, I kind of did this as well. Like, I feel like we've done a lot of work and we've done well and we should all be proud of it. So I think that might be one of the, and just like be around people, cool people, because why not?
Chastity, how about you?
Yeah, mine's kind of the same. I genuinely hate hearing when people feel that they can't do something or they can't see that anything is possible. And to inspire people where you see the light bulb go off that I really can change my body. Maybe that means I can change other things in my life. And it's like all of a sudden, like just to watch them morph into a new person, not only in their physicality, but in their mindset. They start making more money. They start showing up better. The relationships gets better. It's not only something where I feel like I get a lot out of it because I'm changing somebody's life and changing that person into a better version of them, but it's also because I feel like they're basically creating something new where they leave a legacy. Because whatever happens with them typically happens with their children. All of a sudden they go to work and the people around them change. And it's like the butterfly effect where I may only be able to have 10 to 12 individual clients at a time. And luckily I have the 3 coaches on staff and now we're doing group coaching and they're helping a lot of people. Like I can only touch a certain amount of people. But when people actually genuinely change and the light comes on, all of a sudden their light shines throughout a world where I could never be. And that's something where I feel like I actually make an impact.
It's almost like you're raising kids. That's kind of, to be honest with you, oh, go out into the world now and teach.
You're free.
You're free. Fly away. Yeah, and I think, I don't know, I'll ask you, do you miss any of the groups? Like when you get through doing coaching, whether it's individual groups, when you're young, especially if you go to church, or I'm from Southern Baptist, youth go to these big conferences and they have these emotional moments, which is great. Life is about emotions. Well, when you get in a group, you form relationships, even, especially with 13 weeks. When those groups dissolve, do you ever miss a certain group, or are you so busy going on to the next group? Because sometimes it seems like there's relationships inside that group that are permanent.
Yeah, I miss the groups. It's interesting because it's almost like each group has their own personality. And it's like individuals have their personality too, but then the group morphs into this, like the way that they communicate together. It's like an organism. And then when it's gone, I'm like, well, wait a second. Like I miss that. And it's like, for instance, a group meets on Tuesday night. Now Tuesday night, there's like an empty hole. And you just miss that group of people that they brought so much into your lives. So luckily we have things that are after the groups and then excursions, hopefully, that people will come to and we get to meet and hang out again. So
Stupid coronavirus.
Oh my God.
I know.
Hey, so real quick, where you're at, are you in, most of the United States was in lockdown. Are you in lockdown at any kind? How are they handling it where you're at?
Well, this is a tough one because like we're one of those countries that we've had it very good. Like we didn't get many cases. We were very, very quick with lockdowns. We caught like the positive cases straight away, so it didn't really spread. But now like you need to understand like Europe is basically like the United States, right? So we travel through the countries here like you travel through the States, which is where everything is open. But now like all the countries shut. So you weren't able to go through the borders to like, let's say Czech Republic or Hungary or Austria. It was really, really tough. And they started lifting the restrictions recently in like a week or so, it's getting better, but still like we have low cases. We have less than 200 active cases. And
Wow.
It's still, they still make us feel like it's here. We're all going to die. It's just like you hear the panic from everywhere being like, people are tired of it already. Like because if you don't show them that people are actually getting sick and it's actually as bad as you're saying it is, like no one's going to listen.
Well, we just had an article post here in our local news, and I can't remember if it was the Washington, there was a newspaper in Washington or New York or the Wall Street Journal or whatever. They predicted the top 5 hot spots in the United States over the next few weeks. And I live in a mid-sized town called Chattanooga, and it was number 4 of where they're expecting hotspots.
Why is that?
It's doubling. We're doubling our cases about every 8 days. Every 8 days, it goes from 54 to 108. It's doubling every 8 or 9 days.
Right now?
Right now. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I'm hoping that, that it's one of those things that they're wrong. They've been wrong before. So I'm hoping they're wrong.
Yeah,
that was a downer. I shouldn't have brought that up. That's my fault. Stupid coronavirus.
It's going to get better. It's definitely going to get better. Even here, they were freaking out. Everything was shut. The businesses went just like bankrupt. The economy is going down. And at the end of the day, like nothing really happened.
Could you go to your gym during that?
I was lucky enough that I could. Yeah. Gyms were shut. They still are, but there were like little protests because like everything else was open. Like they opened everything. They opened malls, they opened shops, they opened restaurants and everything, and they still kept the gyms shut. So obviously the gym owners were unhappy. So they're opening them, I think, next week.
Chas, could you go to your gym?
We just opened this last week.
And have you been every single day?
Pretty much.
I was lucky enough that I work at a gym, so I basically had a key and I could just walk in and train. Other people, not so much.
So, you said the word travel, and of course you've been to Australia. You lived in Australia. Have you traveled elsewhere, and do you like to travel?
I love traveling. I always this was the hardest part about this virus thing, because even when I'm here, like I would just go maybe to Prague. Like my sister lives in Prague. We own a place in Prague. So I would just go every other month to visit my friends. But then where I live hour and a half from Budapest, which you jump in a car, you drive to Budapest, right? Same thing goes to Vienna in Austria. I live 2 hours from there. So for me, traveling, just get out on the weekend and just see places. I love
Chasity,
it.
I know you love to travel.
Mm-hmm.
That's your answer. Yeah, sure. I like to travel. Where's your favorite place? Where's the next place you want to go?
I actually just want to go to the Keys. It's kind of close, but I want to go there and the Bahamas. More sunshine and beautiful places. That's it.
I was expecting, maybe some cool mountain views, something different. No, I want to go to the center of the sun because I don't have enough sun.
Always.
If I could travel to Mars, I think it's hotter on Mars. Is there a volcano that's active?
He's always disappointed with my responses.
No, okay, but here's the problem. I have not been to the beach. I've been to the mountains a few times, and I like going to waterfalls because I live in a mountainous area. And I haven't been on a vacation in 4 years. But recently, I've been seeing people go to the beach, and I am deep inside me now wanting to be sitting on the beach so bad. I miss the beach, and I'm Irish. I'm as pale and pasty.
It's okay.
Maybe that's the
umbrella.
Listen, there's nothing. And I used to, I had kids, and we would take these pale Irish kids with their pale Irish dad and rub us in lotion, 100 degrees, and salt and sand, and go, is everybody having fun? No. No, I'm an Irish tamale right now. I'm wrapped up in sand. But now, with all that said, I miss the sound, the smell, the sun. I miss it. I need it.
Mm.
Well, you got to remember,
yeah.
I've been in walking distance from a beach, and I haven't been able to step on it in months. So right now, the only thing I want to do is just see beaches.
Has the beaches been closed? Have they closed them down where you live?
Yeah, they've only been open for about a week and a half.
So you go to the gym on your phone. You go to the beach on your phone while you're helping people, but you're on the beach or in the gym while you're helping talking to people, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So tell me how this coaching thing works, because you coach people, both of you, if I'm not mistaken, and y'all can jump in, coach people. They don't just live around the corner from you. You coach people wherever they're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
How does that work?
It's all online. So the first thing they do is they call and set up an appointment, make sure they're a good fit, which is kind of funny because I always tell people the first call, I basically find out if I like you. I don't want to coach somebody that I don't want to talk to. And I only tell people that once I like them. I like most people.
Wait a minute. So I was just saying, if anybody's listening to this and go, she didn't talk to me anymore. Come on.
Well,
so all those
coaching,
heartbroken dudes out there, yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she meant.
That is actually part of the problem, because when you connect with people online, sometimes they're looking for other things other than coaching. So they just get on the phone and ask you out. That's not helpful.
Wait, hold on a second. I know Chastity's very driven. I can see that conversation now. Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about, like, what do you like to do in your free time? Oh, not hang out with you.
Yep. Yeah, I nip those pretty quickly. Or if they're like on Instagram sending me like, can I sign up for an appointment? And then it's like heart eyes, heart eye emojis. Love you. I'm like, no. But first they set up an appointment. We make sure they're a good fit. We figure out where they need to go, whether it's individual or group coaching, depending on their needs. And then no matter where they are in the world, we have coaches everywhere and it's all online. So all of our connections are either via text message, WhatsApp if they're international, or it's a group, or Zoom calls, or Marco Polo. We use different apps to communicate.
I'm glad you said Marco Polo, because I didn't know anything about Marco Polo until about the, 2,487 time that Chasity goes, just use Marco Polo. Quit texting me.
Yep.
Stop texting me, old man. Quit mailing me letters. Why are you sending me letters and envelopes?
I know. He has like a horse. He has the horses that like ride up to my house to like give me a message.
Dear Chasity, it was nice talking with you on the phone the other day. She's like, damn it.
Yeah. And then he'll like call me and I'm like, quit calling me. I'm on the phone.
Hey, I can tell you one way never to talk to Chasity, and that is send her an email without sending her a text that you sent her an email.
Yep.
I'll say, hey, did you get that email I sent? When? 2016. Remember? I'm gonna follow that up. No, you know the rules. Text me that there's an email sitting there.
Yep.
All right, so they go through the free consultation. You figure out, is that the same process for you, Zuz? Do you do the same thing?
Yeah, very, very similar. Like I don't really have groups. Like I only have, well, I'm gonna have a group now through Chasity.
Yeah.
But if I have like one-on-ones, it's basically the same. Just they contact me, we jump on the phone, and we see if this is actually going to work. And then yeah, we move on from there.
Are those called foundation groups? Is that what they're called, Cheston?
Yes.
And do you have any of those available? Is Zeus's open still, or is it closed?
Zeus is closed because we filled hers up so fast. We're opening up another one.
So guys, don't send her those heart eye emojis.
It's not gonna work.
Done.
Nope.
So you're opening up another a foundations group.
Yes.
And do you have any openings right now for coaching personally, or is that full up for you too?
Individual, I don't know. Right now it's just group coaching that's available unless somebody graduates out of an individual coaching.
What does graduate out mean? Does it say they don't want to do it anymore, or they hit their goal, or?
It's either hit their goal or they already know what to do. And I'm like, you know what to do. You don't need me. You're showing up every week. Quit paying me.
Do y'all both do that? Have you not fired, but have you told people to go? I don't need you anymore. You don't need me anymore.
Yeah.
For different reasons, but
yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's a different podcast. That's a completely different podcast.
Yeah, I mean, if we taught them everything, 100%, like, what's the point? If you want to still be in contact and like be friends, you don't have to pay me for it.
Right.
Like keep sending me texts and stuff. We can still chat.
Right.
But,
I'm not gonna like look at your nutrition and change it, but like
yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I get the website right. It's flamovement.com.
Yes.
flamovement.com. And everybody would think that would stand for Florida, but it doesn't stand for Florida, does it?
Well, no, but it does too, actually.
Explain. What is that? I thought it stood for fearlessly authentic.
It does. It just happened that the journey, fearless, was one of my words for all of 2017. And then all of 2018, I realized and went to warrior, and authentic was my word because I wanted to completely give up eating disorders and completely change my mindset and be honest about everything. And then when I realized, like, I named the company Fearlessly Authentic, I realized that it literally has FLA in it. And one of the things that started everything is I moved from Georgia to Florida, which was basically the first step in becoming who I am today.
And then I'm going to wrap it up asking you guys some fun questions. It won't take long. But I wanted to ask you a question, Zuz, about the authentic part, because I know Chastity's story a little bit from how she got, the eating disorders through CrossFit and where she's at. But the authentic part, first of all, do you relate to that part about being authentic with yourself? Was that something hard for you to do, or is it something you struggle with still? Because I found that answer is different for everybody.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, I think everyone goes through the process of figuring out who they are. And I still think I still kind of am. Like, I don't think it's ever going to be over. But also what I've learned being around Chasity and talking to Chasity is just like, be as honest with yourself as you can and show up with the bad things, the good things, like just take everything and then learn to live with it. Or if you don't like it, just try changing it. And that's what she taught me basically. So being authentic, I'm trying to be as authentic as I possibly can at this point. Maybe in the future it will be way better, but I'm actively working on being as myself as I can.
I will tell you, if you don't, if you can start, because you're young, so if you can start that journey young, if I could help my kids, it's so much easier when you get to be older, because when you get to be older, and it happens anyway, I'll tell people a lot of times, whether you see somebody that's hit it financially, there's a part of their life that they don't want anybody to know about. And somebody can have the best abs on planet Earth, and there's part of their life they don't want anybody to know about. if you don't address it as you go, it's like an arm that gets broken and it sets wrong. You have to re-break it. And it's way more painful when you're 50 or something years old than if you're 20, 30-year-old, or even in your early 40s. It's just, it changes. So,
That's totally true.
yeah, there's my rant. There's my contribution.
I love it.
Okay, so here's the questions. First of all, Chastity, I know your answer to one of these. If I were to ask you what your favorite protein, your favorite fat, and your favorite carb is, what is it? What's your favorite protein? If you eat protein, what's your favorite one protein? Go.
Go Zeus.
Steak.
Thank you very much.
I was gonna say he's gonna hate my answer. Egg whites.
I can't hear you. I'm deleting you off the. But, okay, what's your favorite fat?
Chocolate.
I'm gonna go with any kind of chocolate as well.
Then I don't like chocolate or butterscotch or caramel and none of that stuff. How about carbs? What's your favorite carb?
This is tough.
Fruit.
I guess I'd go with fruit.
Donut. I mean, what?
Oh, donut. See? There you go.
I was gonna
You're
say,
welcome.
don't. He hates my answers. I'm like,
I love fruit.
I mean, I love fruit, but if you put banana and donut next to each other, I mean, it's pretty obvious what I'm going to pick.
yeah.
Of course, it's obvious. Okay. If you could only eat one of these for the rest of your life, Chastity, you've done some of these questions in the past, but remember, new people, and she's never heard your answers, so she can hold them over your head later. So you could only eat one of these for the rest of your life: tater tots, onion rings, or French fries.
French fries.
I would say tater tots.
Ugh.
Yes, Chastity, you win. You win the prize. All right, here's last two questions. If you only could have one superpower, would you want to fly or be super strong? Would you want to have the superpower of strength or flight?
I want to be strong. No question about it.
I want to
Yeah.
be. I want to fly. I've already been strong.
Well played. Here's your cape. All right, last one. Last one. Only could eat one for the rest of your life: pancakes or waffles.
Pancakes.
Waffles.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. Chastity finished strong because pancakes. I love pancakes, but waffles have those little square. They catch the butter and the syrup. They catch all the evil sweetness.
Oh, but here's the thing. So your pancakes are basically, or our pancakes are your crepes, right? So they're really, really thin.
Oh.
You roll them in with anything that you ever want.
Like sausage.
No.
Like
Savory.
creams and like jelly and chocolate and
Whatever.
all
Like,
kinds of stuff.
go big.
Whatever.
Crepes are-
Nutella.
yeah. If she thinks crepes are pancakes, then I'm going with crepes.
I
Those
just
are
know
better than
this.
waffles.
I just know this. I've known Zuz for 43 minutes and 8 seconds, and I already got her to give me this look. Really?
It doesn't take
I
that
said-
long.
I said sausage, and she immediately went to, what a waste of my damn time this has been. Jeez almighty.
I mean, pancakes with sausage. What are you
Yes.
No.
Take a pancake, roll the sausage in the middle, put a little syrup on it. There you go. You're welcome. I got to be honest with you. That response there's nothing new to me. So I'll take it. All right, Chastity, I'll let you wrap this thing up in just a minute. I'm going to say bye to Zuz, but Chastity, I want you to tell folks how to find you. Tell them about your website and where you're at on social media. Zuz, thank you very much for joining us. I really do appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yeah,
All right,
so
Chastity.
we have a new website, and if you want to see all of Zeus's wonderful credentials and a beautiful picture of her, it's flamovement.com. And then also I have an Instagram, FLA_movement. And then my Instagram is Chasity Snowden _FLA.
All right, there we go. Ladies, thank you very much. I appreciate y'all taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. Y'all have a good day.